Some people see the 2022-2023 season as a complete disaster with no positives at all, and we totally understand why. The club went from being a contender for a quadruple to being outplayed by teams like Wolverhampton Wanderers and Brighton. But even in the midst of those struggles, a young player emerged in the first team, showing levels of professionalism, calmness, and skill that even surpassed some of the senior players. Guys, you asked and we're delivering. Today we're diving into Liverpool's brightest talent, Stefan Bajcetic. We'll discuss how he impressed in his debut season and what he brings to the pitch and how he fits into Arne's slot system. But before we do get into it, hit the like button and subscribe button for daily Liverpool deep dives. Now let's clear something up before we dive into Bajcetic's profile as a player. The aim of this video isn't to say that Stefan would be a regular starter for the club right from the get-go. We're also not suggesting that the club shouldn't look to strengthen the midfield area. As we all know, the 19-year-old suffered a calf injury that forced him to miss almost an entire season. He only played 25 Premier League minutes, and for this reason, we don't think it's optimal to put the weight of the midfield on his shoulders at the start of this upcoming campaign. But does this make him any less of a player? Absolutely not. With proper pre-season preparation and with Liverpool's staff knowing how to ease the young talent back into the first team, Stefan Bajcetic will undoubtedly become an indispensable player for the Reds. So what makes the Spaniard so special? Why do we believe that he'll be a crucial player despite his young age and the long period that he spent on the sidelines? Stay with us and we'll explain. People often compare Bajcetic to Thiago, saying that the 19-year-old is almost the same player but with quicker feet. These comparisons aren't just about their playstyles. It's already in their genes, as Thiago's father, Maziano, and Bajcetic's father, Saddam, were teammates at Celta Vigo during the 1996-1997 season. Not only that, but Thiago played for Jurgen, known as ED Valminonugran, from 2003 to 2005. Bajcetic, born in 2004, played for the same club for 3 years, from the age of 5 before joining Celta. So it's no coincidence that the 19-year-old is compared to Thiago. It was written in the stars. But as we said, people describe him as a quicker, perhaps more relentless version of Thiago. Let's explore what kind of player Stefan really is. Bajcetic had his breakout season when Liverpool's midfield was literally collapsing. Fabinho, Milner, Keita, Henderson and Thiago all struggled with injuries or couldn't meet Klopp's usual standards. However, when the young Spaniard emerged, he looked like a prime Jurgen Klopp midfielder, especially during his first Merseyside derby, where he received a standing ovation for his outstanding performance. Stefan, alongside both Fabinho and Henderson, two aging players who were struggling to perform their defensive duties and influence the attacking phase. But during the game, it was Stefan who elevated everyone's performances. The young kid was relentless, covering 11.14 kilometers of the Anfield pitch, making 5 ball recoveries and winning 4 of his ground duels. This tenacity wasn't limited to the derby. Based on the 526 Premier League minutes he played last season, Bajcetic ranks among the elite in terms of dribbles tackled and dribbles challenged, placing him in the 93rd and 99th percentiles respectively among other midfielders for these metrics. What's even more impressive is his 1.54 interceptions and 1.20 passes blocked per 90 minutes, showcasing his ability to interrupt and break down the opposition's play. It's also worth mentioning that he can be dominant in the air, winning 64.3% of his aerial duels, putting him in the 91st percentile. At such a young age and in his first season at the senior level, these numbers prove that Bajcetic is capable of playing as the lone number 6. In fact, the young Spaniard is valued for his versatility. He has appeared for the under-18s and the under-23s as a centre-back, but as we all know, he had a string of impressive performances as the 6 for the senior squad. But let's go back to the Merseyside derby for a bit. As we mentioned, Bajcetic played alongside Fabinho and Henderson, and with the Brazilian on the pitch, it's clear that Stefan wasn't the lone 6. Instead, Bajcetic acted as the balancing force between Liverpool's midfield offensive and defensive actions. He played as a box-to-box enforcer whose nimble frame, combined with his relentless energy, created a technically and tactically balanced midfield that Liverpool had desperately lacked so far that season. Yes, Bajcetic could not only play as a number 6, but also as a number 8, moving up and down the pitch to cover defensively and influence the team's attacking display. During that particular game, Bajcetic completed completed 10 out of 12 final third passes and had 2 key passes demonstrating his creativity to play higher up the pitch. But just as we did for his defensive attributes, let's examine his stats when it comes to playing higher up the pitch. With a 0.39 xG build-up and 0.95 xG chain per 90 minutes, Bajcetic has proven he has the skills to be influential in the team's build-up phase and contribute to the offensive phase. He's also averaged 0.67 key passes per 90, showing his ability to be creative higher up the pitch. With 2.91 passes into the final third and 1.20 passes into the penalty area, it's clear that Bajcetic has the ability to break opposition lines with accurate passes. Yes, the numbers might not sound impressive at first, but remember, he's only played 529 Premier League minutes, and such numbers are considered high for his limited game time. Oh, and how can we forget? What makes Bajcetic an even better number 8 is his ability to take on players and carry the ball over large distances. For his age and the delicate position of a holding midfielder, averaging 2.74 attempted take-ons, with 1.20 successful per 90 minutes is nothing short of sensational. His 77 yards of progressive carrying distance also shows his ability to slice through the field to progress the play. This sequence right here perfectly summarizes what Bajcetic is capable of doing. He can cleverly time his interception to steal the ball, drive it forward with intent, and slip it in forward for a dangerous chance. This radar chart also proves our point. Bajcetic can play both as a lone 6 or as a number 8 in a double pivot. This makes him an all-round midfielder, capable of sweeping the area to protect the back line, breaking down opposition lines with his passing or carrying, and even influencing the attack with his creativity. When veterans like Henderson, Fabinho and Milner struggled, it was Stefan Bajcetic who shined in an otherwise disappointing season. There's no doubt that his absence in the past campaign affected the club's squad depth and even first 11, especially with Thiago sidelined for the whole campaign. Now that we've covered the player's strengths and what he does, let's discuss how he fits into Arne's slot system. Is it true that if Bajcetic were 100% fit, would he be a regular starter for the Dutchman? Well, let's delve deeper into this. But first, let us tell you this. You can question Slot's tactics. You can doubt his career and ability to make the jump to the Premier League, but what you cannot doubt is his ability to develop young players and get the best out of them. From Santiago Jimenez, to Kushu, to Koop Miners, to Stengs during his AZ Alkmaar stint, Arne Slot knows exactly how to take players to the next level, both by being a great man manager and knowing how to use these abilities to their strengths. We delved into the Dutchman's abilities in a dedicated video, so make sure you do check it out. We're mentioning this because Bajcetic is still 19 years old, and with Slot's guidance there is no doubt that the young player would find the right environment to develop into the best possible version of himself. Now let's jump into the part where we can explain how Bajcetic can fit into Slot's system. It's common knowledge that Slot likes to use a 4-2-3-1 formation with a double pivot in the midfield, who are tasked with impacting all phases of play. When it comes to Feyenoord, Slot used both Viper and Timber as his midfield duo playing behind Stengs. We're not saying that the Dutchman does not use a single pivot, he does, but it depends on the opposition and the positioning of the fullbacks, as the build-up structure can be 4-1 or 2-3 at times. In this setup, it's Viper or sometimes a rookie who operate as the midfield anchor in a single pivot. The player in this profile is tasked with sweeping the area in front of the back line and providing cover for the fullbacks when they push forward. This is where Bajcetic can easily fit. As we mentioned, he's relentless out of possession and has a great sense of timing in his tackles, not to mention his ability to anticipate intercept passes. With 6.84 ball recoveries per 90 minutes in the 2022-2023 season, and collect any loose balls before the opposition players reach them. Bajcetic can indeed play as that lone 6 or as a 6.5 alongside McAllister, with the Argentine having the license to push higher up the pitch where he's more creative, while Bajcetic stays back to cover the spaces and ensures his team sustains pressure on the opponents. But that's not all. We mentioned that Slot likes to use a double pivot, with both players capable of influencing the attacking third. Viper, who usually is the deeper midfielder, is ranked 5th in the Eredivisie for accurate passes to the final third percentage. He also averages 3.02 progressive passes received per 90 minutes, which highlights his active involvement in advancing the ball up the field and contributing to the team's forward momentum. Bajcetic, as we explained earlier, can perform this role perfectly. He can receive the ball on the half turn and with his back to play. In fact, that might be one of his best qualities, allowing him to skip past his markers and quickly start attacks. He can receive under pressure and even handle ball passes. He does this so well that the Reds have started to call it the Bajcetic turn. One more thing to mention about the player's offensive skills is his ability to crush the box with a late run. His only goal for the club came against Aston Villa, where he appeared out of nowhere to steal the ball inside the box, dribble past the defender and slot the ball home. From his ability to anticipate the ball and put in tackles, to his progressive passing, carrying and creativity, Stefan Bajcetic, when fully fit, can not only slot into Arne's slot system, but also be a key player due to his versatility as a lone number 6 or as a box-to-box midfielder. As we said, with a proper pre-season preparation and Arne Slot's guidance, Bajcetic can emerge as a key player for the Reds. It might not happen next season, as he might need time to overcome his long period out due to injury, but it will undoubtedly happen in the future. So what do you guys think? Will Stefan rise as the latest prodigy to come out of the Reds Academy? What role do you think suits him and best in the new system under the new boss? Let us know in the comment section below, and remember to hit that like button and subscribe button for more Liverpool deep dives. Thank you guys, take care, peace.